In this video, we'll be going through the order schedule in StockTrim. This is different from the order plan, in that the order plan shows an as of now plan with suggested order quantities to make today, whereas this order schedule shows expected order quantities that you'll need to make further into the future at many different dates in the future, as well as your expected stock levels at each date. This is very useful if you want to plan into the future how much you'll need to order so you can more easily manage your future inventory requirements, give your suppliers more of a heads up, manage your cash flow into the future, or understand future production requirements for manufacturers. It also gives visibility on how you will be able to optimize your whole inventory and the timeframes to reach optimal inventory levels across your range. So to enable this feature set, you need to go into Settings, Features, and enable the order schedule. After that, you need to set your default reorder frequency. This is generally how often you place orders from your supplier. You can override this at the supplier level or the individual item level later. Then you can go to the order schedule from the left-hand menu. The first time you do this, you'll need to recalculate the order schedule, and from then on, it will happen automatically whenever your data is reloaded. So to see your order schedule, the first thing you do is select the reorder frequency that you wish to view. This will show all items that have the configured frequency at this interval. We recommend only selecting 1 or 2 frequencies at a time, since if there are many items with different order frequencies, the schedule will be quite sparse with many blank columns, since there will need to be a column for every date at every interval in the frequency. Then you can see the schedule of future ordering requirements. The numbers in each column for every item are the expected order quantity you'll need to make at each date to keep up with your customer demand, depending on the lead time and the reorder frequency of every item. Note that the date of this recording is the 4th of September, 2024. You can then expand each item to also see the expected stock on hand and stock on order at every date. This view scrolls horizontally, so you can see either up to 24 months into the future or a maximum of 62 future reorder points. You can then bring up the demand analysis for each item. This will show a graphical representation of your future expected stock levels. You can see that the stock on hand goes down as sales are made to your customers and increases when previously placed purchase orders are received. The stock on order goes up when an order is placed and down when it is received. Below that are the 2 most relevant parameters to configure the order schedule. The order frequency. This is how often you will expect to place orders with your supplier. You can set this explicitly per SKU here, but if not, this will come from either the supplier default, or if that isn't set, the global default order frequency. The system will calculate your optimal order quantity at each date from today based on this interval. Then there is the lead time, and this is exactly the same field as on the demand analysis tab, but just also accessible from the screen for convenience. Then there is a table that shows all expected future events in terms of the replenishment of this SKU. The expected order quantities you'll need to make are listed as purchase orders at each interval date based on the order frequency. At each one of these points, the stock on order is increased by the order amount. Then there are the corresponding arrivals. These are at the order date plus the lead time, in which case the stock on hand is increased by the order amount and the stock on order reduced. If you have existing open purchase orders, it will show their arrival based on the current ETA date. Or if there is no order required at a date, or if a stock out is expected, it will show the expected stock levels. In this example, it is currently understocked. As you can see, only 17 days of stock left, and a lead time of 30 days. So you can see that a stock out is inevitable in 17 days' time, but we'll be making purchase orders every 14 days. So you can see that eventually, once they arrive, the stock level will balance out. Then over time, the optimal order cycle will occur, with the stock levels always being within the optimal buffer, and the order quantity going up and down with seasonal demand, ensuring that the stock level remains in the optimal cycle. Let's look at a different example with excess stock. You can see here that even though the order frequency is only 14 days, we don't need to place any new orders for some time. And the currently high level of stock will gradually reduce with demand. Then eventually, in anticipation of the optimal stock level, the system will recommend orders being placed at the optimal time. So then going forward, the optimal order cycle will occur with the stock levels always within the optimal buffer, with the optimal on-hand amount and the order quantity going up and down based on seasonal demand. For manufactured items, it's exactly the same concept, except that instead of a schedule of supplier purchase orders, it's a schedule of production orders. In this example, we've configured the production run to be every 14 days, so it calculates the optimal amount of product to produce at each interval. This product is currently understocked and will experience a stock out, as you can see. But once the first production run is completed in the lead time days, the stock levels will eventually balance out and the optimal production cycle will be achieved going forward. You can also see location-specific order schedules. This is exactly the same concept, but for either branch transfers or location-specific purchase orders. You can do this by either filtering by location on the order schedule or bringing up the demand analysis on a location-specific item, then going to the order schedule tab. You can also see order schedules for forecast groups. Again, exactly the same concept, but for any configured group of products. See the forecast groups video to understand how that works. So there we have it. That's the walkthrough of the order schedule feature. If you have any further queries, please get in touch with us at support@stocktrim.com. Have a great day.